Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our NFL Week 11 preview between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Jags.
If the Jaguars are going to beat the Houston Texans, then the front seven has to play their best game of the season. They have to make sure up front they get push and penetration versus that Houston Texans offensive line, so guys like Paul Puzzle-Lusney can have free reign to the football. The linebacking core, quite honestly, in my opinion, have been playing some good football for the Jags all season long. And you also look at the strong safety, DeJuan Landry, being a key component to the Jags' defensive game plan. As with any strong safety that faces the Houston Texans, you got to be the field guy, the alley defender, and you also have to cover the tight ends in that short to intermediate passing game. But let's go inside the lab and look at this Jaguars offense and what they can do to defeat the pressure of the Houston Texans.
The Jacksonville Jaguars will face intense pressure from that 3-4 defense of the Houston Texans, and I think they can combat the pressure by utilizing the screen game, going empty, utilizing the screen game, or shifting to empty, and then utilizing the screen game. And it also helps get Justin Blackmon involved in the passing game and what he does exceptionally well, which is the run after the catch, which is what he did at Oklahoma State. You see up here we have a middle screen drawn up, and down here we're going to have a quick screen drawn up. The middle screen is simple. We're gonna slow block and shoot upfield for these backside tackle and guards right there. We're gonna influence block this nose guard, forcing him to come in. That's gonna be the screen guy we're gonna right over his head. Everybody is pretty much simple. Blocking man up, and we're gonna, at the snap of the ball, we're gonna bring Blackmon here. You want the football to be delivered right here as he's behind the running back, which the running back will shift to this formation, thus giving you that empty look. Dump it off right there and have Blackmon shoot through the middle. Now on a quick screen, this is the guy we're going to give the screen to. This can go either way, and you see how this is set up. This is actually set up in a good way to influence the defense, because we have this tight end on the line of scrimmage, tight to the line, shooting through the seam in between the free and strong safety. And what that does, it also influences this strong safety to either jump this route, leaving a quick screen open for the receiver, or if you want to call a fake quick screen and you can hit the tight end here, you can also hit the hang route right there or the flag there. But we're going to drop it, quick screen, boom. He's going to follow his blockers. Those two big guys going to get that strong safety, feel sorry for him. And that's how you can get the quick passing game going versus an aggressive 3-4 defense of the Houston Texans.
Now let's move over to the Texans in this ball game. And you look at a team last week that did everything that they had to do against Chicago. They ran the football, got off the field on third down, and they came away with the victory. Now against Jacksonville, they're facing a divisional opponent, so they know their tendencies. So I will look for these guys to come in with something new that they haven't seen before. Maybe a no-huddle approach, maybe a hurry-up approach, and then you can still run your regular offense. Now, defensively, it's all about putting pressure on that Jags offensive line, and no one can better do that than J.J. Watt and company. But still, you have to switch up your stunts, your blitzes. You got to get creative versus a team that sees you twice a year. In the secondary, you look at Jonathan Joseph and company. Guys can play closer to the line of scrimmage because of the lack of respect for the Jags passing game. They don't really threaten you as deep as most teams do, so you can play a little bit aggressive, take a little bit more chances to come away with interceptions and also sacks on those corner blitzes. Tyson Alualu, the defensive tackle, I believe will be an X factor in this ballgame. He had a solid game last week versus Indy. He needs to carry that over this week versus the Texans. And for Houston, it's about third down defense. Once again, they did a great job last week, and they've done a great job all season long getting off the field on third downs. Same rules apply this week versus Jacksonville. You don't want to give a young team, a young struggling team, more opportunities to put points on the board. Now let's look at the personnel breakdown in this ball game. And I know the Jags don't have a lot of checks for their personnel, but this is a very tough team. They play hard each and every down. And despite the lack of pass rush, I still think their secondary can compete with the wide receivers of the Houston Texans. This should still be a very tough game for two divisional opponents. I like the Texans in this ballgame. Two things they do well that gives the Jags problems. They play great defense on third down, so they get them off the field. And on offense, they do a great job with running the football and staying on pace. That right there keeps the defense on the field, and that's how they're able to beat teams. So I look for them to beat the Jaguars at home in front of a raucous crowd in Reliant Stadium. And I want to give a huge shout out to Texans fan forums and Jaguar fan forums for always showing football game plan support.